what dying on every planet would be like. Imagine you could stand on every planet in our solar system, not in a spaceship, not wearing a futuristic suit, just you, suddenly dropped onto the surface. On Earth, you'd be fine, but on every other planet, the experience would be completely different. On one world, you would be cooked by heat. On another, you'd freeze. And on some planets, there isn't even a real surface to stand on. So what would actually happen to your body if you tried to survive on every planet? Let's start with the closest planet to the Sun, Mercury. Mercury looks like the obvious place to begin. It's closest to the Sun, so you might expect it to be the hottest planet. But that's not actually true. Mercury has almost no atmosphere to trap heat. During the day, the surface can reach around 430 degrees Celsius. At night, temperatures can plunge to around minus 180. So if you suddenly appeared on the daytime side, the first problem wouldn't be the lack of oxygen. It would be the extreme heat. Your exposed body would be hit by intense sunlight, while the nearly airless environment would provide almost no protection. You'd also have no breathable atmosphere. And because there is almost no air pressure, the water in your body would begin behaving very differently. You wouldn't simply stand there and burn. You'd lose consciousness as your body became overwhelmed by the combination of vacuum, radiation, and heat. And then there's the night side. Only a few hundred kilometers away, the same planet could be cold enough to freeze you instead. Mercury doesn't just give you one way to die. It gives you two completely opposite ones. Venus. But Mercury has nothing on Venus. Venus is actually the hottest planet in the solar system. The surface temperature is around 465 degrees Celsius. That's hot enough to melt lead. And the atmosphere is the real nightmare. Imagine standing at the bottom of an ocean, except the ocean is made of carbon dioxide. The pressure at the surface is around 93 times Earth's atmospheric pressure. It's roughly comparable to being nearly a kilometer underwater, except instead of being surrounded by water, you're surrounded by an incredibly hot, corrosive atmosphere. Within seconds, your body would be exposed to temperatures far beyond what humans can survive. The pressure would crush and damage your body. And above you, thick clouds made largely of sulfuric acid would hide the sun. Venus isn't just an inhospitable planet. It is one of the closest things to a natural planetary furnace. Earth. Then there's Earth. And suddenly, everything feels different. We have breathable air, liquid water, a protective atmosphere, and temperatures that allow life to exist. Earth isn't perfect, but compared with the other 7 planets, it's almost unbelievably comfortable. And that's exactly what makes the next planet so terrifying. Mars. Mars looks like the easiest planet to survive on. It's rocky, it has mountains, it has valleys, and we've even sent robots across its surface. But if you suddenly appeared there without a spacesuit, you wouldn't last long. The atmosphere is extremely thin and mostly carbon dioxide. There's nowhere near enough oxygen for you to breathe. The pressure is also so low that the environment is almost like a partial vacuum. Your body would rapidly lose heat. Any exposed moisture would be in serious trouble because of the extremely low pressure. You'd try to breathe, but there would be almost nothing useful to breathe. Within a short time, you'd lose consciousness. Mars wouldn't kill you with some giant explosion. It would simply remove almost everything your body needs to function. And then comes the largest planet in the solar system, Jupiter. Jupiter is where the idea of standing on a planet completely breaks down. There is no solid surface waiting for you. Jupiter is a massive ball of hydrogen and helium with layers of atmosphere surrounding a much deeper interior. If you somehow appeared in its upper atmosphere, you'd immediately be surrounded by freezing clouds and powerful winds, and then you'd start falling deeper and deeper. As you descended, atmospheric pressure would increase dramatically. The temperature would rise, the gases around you would become denser, and eventually, the pressure would become so extreme that ordinary human biology would no longer matter. You wouldn't reach a rocky surface. You would simply disappear deeper into the planet. And Jupiter isn't even the worst gas giant. Saturn. Saturn looks beautiful from space, but getting close would be a very different story. Like Jupiter, Saturn doesn't have a solid surface you could simply stand on. Its atmosphere is mostly hydrogen and helium, and its winds can reach around 500 meters per second. That's more than 4 times the speed of the strongest hurricane-force winds on Earth. You would fall through the atmosphere while being battered by incredibly powerful winds. And the deeper you went, the pressure would become more and more extreme. Eventually, the atmosphere itself would become dense enough to behave in ways completely unfamiliar to us. The beautiful planet with its rings would become a crushing world of pressure and heat. But then we reach the strangest planet of them all, Uranus. Uranus is almost 4 times wider than Earth, and it is unbelievably cold. The average temperature is around minus 195 degrees Celsius. But the most bizarre thing isn't even the temperature. It's the way Uranus rotates. The planet is tilted almost completely sideways. So imagine being dropped into the upper atmosphere of Uranus. You'd encounter temperatures far below anything humans naturally experience on Earth. There would be no breathable oxygen, and as you descended, pressure would increase. The cold would become less important, because pressure and the increasingly hostile atmosphere would take over. Eventually, you'd be pushed deeper into a world where the distinction between atmosphere and interior becomes completely unfamiliar. And then there's Neptune. Neptune is the final planet, and it might have the most terrifying weather in the solar system. Neptune is incredibly cold, but despite receiving very little energy from the sun, its winds can reach more than 2,000 kilometers per hour. That's several times faster than the strongest winds ever recorded on Earth. If you appeared in Neptune's upper atmosphere, you wouldn't be standing anywhere. You'd be falling, surrounded by freezing gases, while violent winds ripped through the atmosphere around you. As you descended, pressure would continue increasing. There would be no solid ground to save you, no breathable air, no way to stop the descent, and eventually, the increasing pressure and temperature would become fatal. But there's something even more disturbing about this journey. Every planet kills you differently. Mercury attacks you with extreme temperature and almost no atmosphere. Venus combines crushing pressure with temperatures hot enough to melt lead. Mars gives you almost no breathable atmosphere and almost no protection from the environment. Jupiter and Saturn don't even give you a surface to stand on. Uranus freezes you in one of the coldest planetary environments we know, and Neptune combines extreme cold with some of the fastest winds in the solar system. And suddenly, Earth doesn't look so ordinary anymore. The planet beneath your feet isn't just another rock floating through space. It's a remarkably precise combination of atmosphere, temperature, pressure, liquid water, and protection that allows you to simply take your next breath. We spend our entire lives thinking Earth is normal, but after visiting every other planet, you realize something. Earth isn't normal. Earth is the exception.